Hello, this is Tom Knox, and I'm the founder and CEO of CareFamily. Thank you for joining this webinar today. And we're going to talk about the private caregiver employment platform we've created. It's a collaboration of CareFamily and Care.com home pay. We have a lot of experience in home care. I started actually a private duty home care agency, a licensed agency, because I had a family member in need and have helped thousands of families through that agency. Help hire thousands of caregivers, and often saw, though, that many families, especially with this caregiver crisis, have chosen to hire private caregivers. And with the back end of Care.com and their massive database and HomePay's tax back end processing, this platform is seamless, it's easy, it's compliant, and it's a great way of families and caregivers to work together and care managers to support it. In-home care is a really important option for many families, and people face the choice of, do I try to hire someone myself? Do I go to a home care agency? And home care agency could be a good choice, obviously. But for some, private employment is a great benefit, and the reality is more and more people are using it. Lower cost oftentimes, and higher caregiver wages, and many times that higher paid caregiver, they attract people who give pretty good quality. So when it's done right, it's a good thing. But the concerns obviously include that, is there quality and any control over the quality or any oversight if that's being done well? The administrative burden of, paychecks and trying to make sure caregivers work and that they get paid right. And then that compliance of taxes and other liability protection and workers' comp that comes up in private cases. So we try to wrap all this together, come up with a really seamless way of bringing together the client and family, the caregivers, the family advisors, and care managers in a really seamless portal and service. The main features of this are many things you would see in a home care agency. Getting caregivers, whether you're bringing your own in. A lot of families already have private caregivers that they may want to make compliant, use these tools. Others may need caregivers. So for us to search and allow families to hire these caregivers. Caregivers clocking in and out with time and ADL tracking and putting care notes in. Automated and consolidated billing. When caregivers work and they do their attendance through the EVV or telephony, it automatically creates an invoice that creates the ability for a family to look at it or a care manager to look at it for them and have the bill done weekly, and then the caregiver pay is weekly with all the tax processing done right there. You can file long-term care insurance or other payers because it all rolls up into an easy record. Unlike other private solutions, there's bonding and liability protection, even workers' comp, and all with live expert support, because this needs to be more than a platform or technology. These are people, these are seniors, these are caregivers and care managers, and so live expert support is really important. So being the fact that private pay caregiving is often a reality right now, we can't really run from it. If anything, we just got to help families do it right. So how do care managers support it being done well? Well, a couple of ways we make that happen. First of all, we provide easy landing page that allows local families to enroll and caregivers to enroll. And families often do that with existing caregivers, or we recruit new candidates, new caregivers in the area that families can meet. There's no charge for caregivers or case managers to use this. Families just pay a small fee, hourly, which we'll talk about. And then we provide, as part of this, care managers an advanced administrative support platform that allows them to see what's going on in those cases. So if they're giving case management or care management advice to a family, they can see what a caregiver is doing to make sure they're giving them the right advice and can provide the right care management support, which they do with all cases. So here's just a little example of this customized landing page. And as you can see here, we have the CareFamily logo, which we can keep for you. Or if you want, we put your logo right here. And it's a very easy place for a caregiver to enroll or a family to enroll. There'll be easy buttons, and that gets them started. And the enrollment's very easy. Just like when you do a basic intake, we're getting the direct information that allows you to create a care plan. The care plan's done automatically in the system, but it also is the type of questions that are really important for a caregiver to know, or if we're recruiting a caregiver and creating a job, for us to know. So it's things like ADLs and other information like diagnosis. Do people smoke? Do they need driving? Do they have pets? There's a couple more questions we ask too to understand a patient's need. Once that's done, either the family's brought in the caregiver, which we match up, or they recruit. And as you can see here, here's a profile of a caregiver. And you can see right here, people can print this profile. They can read about the candidate. They can look at their employment history. Down the page would be licenses and some references, and some other details. They can drive the customer. They don't work with hospice in this case. Some do. I'm willing to work around cats and dogs, which is often important. You can request an interview. They can, print this. They can forward it to a family member, or they can go directly to a hire. And the nice thing is a hire is done very easily. And once they're in a care team, this is a portal. This is their kind of place they just log in, and they can see, we kind of call it an online Rolodex, but it's the caregivers, any coordinators to be involved in the case, some of the professionals, emergency contacts, and there are settings to allow these people to communicate. So it's very easy for a family member or a case manager to help the family coordinate the care. This is a little bit of a drill down when people are looking at the caregiver, some of the important things, background screens that are done on each of the caregivers. The caregiver agreement between the family and the caregiver talks about their pay, and they're agreeing to be an employee of the family. Certificate of insurances. We're going to talk about the fact we have bonding and liability insurance and workers' comp options. Private hire, that's a phenomenal thing to have included. Bonding, like we talked about. And people can pull up those certificates right there out of their dashboard. Now the caregiver's been hired. They've gone to the home. They're doing care. We give a very simple and easy telephony solution, or what's called EVV, electronic verification, right from the mobile phone or from a desktop or even a landline of the family that records the hours and does the care notes so people know what they did in the home, or it can be loaded into long-term care insurance. Here's an example of an invoice. Once that caregiver worked on a date, you can see their clock in and clock out. You can see the tasks that they did, how many hours, their pay, and even the taxes that are included in every payroll. So that way it's seamless, easy for the family or care managers who's supporting them to see. It's all uploaded and automated. And let's look at how it plays in the billing. Once the bill's done, you can see it by caregiver, you can see it by date range. They can always go back and look at the old records. And that way it's very, very easy to kind of control and manage and see what's been paid. The best thing is that the caregivers themselves, they do get automated weekly payroll. So they're very, very pleased with the type of service they get. And that's really important to know, because for a caregiver, it gives them a lot of the same benefits they will with an agency. Weekly pay, taxes being taken out, an automated pay stub that they can look at, all out of the system. So let's go to the fact that now a case has been happening, a family and a caregiver has signed up, and they're getting care and getting all the kind of benefits the platform gives. Well, out of that dashboard we showed you, if care managers choose, there's an advanced information dashboard. And what that is a place where all the families that have enrolled under that platform, you can see where they're getting care. You can see the families that are getting it, and the caregivers, whether they're active or all caregivers in the area or favorite caregivers, can be drilled down on. So let's say the family's saying, hey, I want you to do care management services for me, and I want you to support me. Well, by drilling into a name like right here, you'd be able to kind of see a little bit about what's been going on. You can see when the caregiver came and went. And if you wanted to see that shift, you can drill down a little further and you'll get a care note. So a family can do this, or you as the care manager to support them, which is totally fine. You can see what they did and didn't do in a message. You can see they didn't decide not to do a bath that day. They're going to do it next shift. They clocked in, they clocked out. Here were the planned care activities and what they did and didn't do, and there's an area for more notes. So you can keep an eye on it and give the family advice on ways of improving care and how people are doing in the home. We always, again, provide expert assistance. So whether it's recruiting or compliance issues for the family, billing and payroll questions, we're there every step of the way to support you. So now that you've seen the portal, how families can use it, how you can support the family and the caregiver, let's talk about the fees. First of all, there is no caregiver fees in the system. The initial partner fee is $0, and the ongoing partner fee is $0. You're the partner as the care manager. You have no fees in the system. For the client, it's very easy. If we've recruited the caregiver and brought them into the system for them to hire, it's $3 per hour. Anything over 50 hours a week, because somehow people get a lot of care, it moves to $1.50 per hour. So it becomes, very affordable, especially in high-hour cases. If people brought their own caregiver in, which is very common, or they found somebody in the network that in their local market, it's only $2 an hour. So they only pay for the care they use. They only pay on top of the hour of care based on the caregiver wage. They add $2 an hour with an existing, or $3 an hour for a new caregiver, and anything over 50 is $1.50 an hour. That's the only fees we charge. So let's talk about how existing partners or care managers are helping their clients and also grow their business in addressing this kind of private market that's growing. Some, like we talked about, introduce the CareFamily services for choice and compliance on that landing page, allowing families, hey, if you're really going to hire privately or want to, this is the great place to just go easy and enroll and work with CareFamily. A lot of the practices are growing additional case management hours and additional revenue by working through this. We have a lot of care managers who use the system who are adding 4 to 6 hours a month of additional visits, and that's about 50 to 70 hours per year. They're developing care plans and doing quality assessments and visits. They help support the family employers with those visits, but also with some of the administrative support possibly, looking at invoices, giving them advice on how to work it, doing their long-term care insurance processing. A lot of you already do this. This just gives you the tools to do it. We give the ability, which some do, to charge an hourly support fee through our system. Usually it's about $1 to $3 an hour, which is built right into the hourly fee. It's very transparent in the invoice. It's nice because it gets rolled up into long-term care insurance and things like that and gets reimbursed. So you can either just charge case management hours, or you can actually charge an hourly administrative fee. But best of all, you get to help the families do this in a very safe, compliant, and giving them peace of mind when they're doing a domestic employment relationship. So care manager helping families do it right when they choose to hire privately. So how do you get started if you want to partner with us in doing this? First of all, if you just give us some basic information, we can do it by phone or give you a form. We can just get you that free customized landing page and portal. We kind of show you how families can onboard, and we recruit in your area caregivers that families, if they need it, can get a caregiver. We receive materials, or you'll receive materials that you can give to families, a brochure, to help them kind of think about using this, and we'll walk through a case together to get them started. You can learn how to use the portal to assist further with the case management as the next step. So we showed you that advanced information portal. That's very easy to explain. All the information's right there because the family or the caregivers are loading all the information. It's a tool for you to do better case management. And that's just a quick, easy 1-hour training on the best practices of using it. And we give you continued hands-on support throughout, whether it's on how to use the system, whether it's about compliance for the families or the caregivers. We're alongside of you every step of the way. And then you're not only able to use this, but you're part of a growing national network of providers that we're working with to provide care to people in need. So to begin assisting families, we suggest you call us. Call 877-444-4112 and press option 5. And we'll have someone help you get some basic information so we can get you started. Or you can just email us at nextsteps@carefamily.com. That's nextsteps@carefamily.com. And we'll reply to you and get you started. So thank you very much for joining us. We hope that this was valuable time for you. And we look forward to you joining us and helping families do private caregiving right.